chicken coop. Hanging out. It's so cool. We're getting Dover to some more memorial sites. There's that way now. How you doing? Beautiful trees.
That's a pole here. Exactly. But the original one used to be the wooden one. But anyone swim across to come and touch it, then you have your freedom. Wow. But according to the history, swimming was not a sport in this country. So, but all those tried to swim, they all drowned in the water. So no one made it.
No one made
it. Because we cannot swim.
Oh, that's too far.
And the current also was very strong. Yeah, and also the river was full of crocodiles. Yeah, because of too many deaths happening every day.
Right, they'll come and get the
deaths. They come and get deaths. But after slavery was over, then all the crocodiles went to the sweet water.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is the river Gambia, and the river divides the country into completely two halves.
Right.
This is the north and the south.
Right.
And here is the whitest part. So the more you are going upriver,
the more smaller.
Yeah, the river is narrow. Locally, it's called Kambi Bolongo.
Bolongo.
Yeah. Bolongo means the river from the Mandingo tribe. Kambi, that's where the country get to get the name. Then today we call the Gambia or River Gambia. Yeah. Okay. And also here on the board we have the monuments. Number one was the church. That's why today we have 95% Muslims and 5% Catholics. Yeah, so the church was built by the Portuguese. That was around 1444. But the church has never been used today. Yeah, this is number one. That's the church. But one of the oldest church in the Gambia, almost 600 years. Yeah, but now it's all in ruins. Only 50% of the church remains with the foundation. It's just behind there, the big building. And you have the church. So number two, also we have the flagpole. This is the flagpole. So this is the freedom flag. Rising up, red, black, and green. Red is the blood of our ancestors. Black means the history of slavery in Africa, because slavery was like a social institution that was happening in different parts of the world and different parts of Africa. So slavery was a block.
And green?
Yeah, the green means the agriculture. Because people here, they live through from fishing and farming. Yeah, 35% here are fishermen, 65% are farmers, self-sufficient farmers. Yeah, from the frying pan to the fire, the fishes we eat here is always fresh. And the land is very fertile for agriculture. Our ancestors even used to say, even you put your finger deep in the soil, it will grow. Because the land is
I can see that.
Very, very rich.
I can see that.
Okay. So also they have the cannon. You can see the English cannon. This cannon was made from Scotland, 1810. Because in 1807, one of the agreement treaty was signed, then the law was passed in the English Parliament. They're trying to stop slavery, but they couldn't control the slave catchers. Slavery went on and on until the American Civil War. Yeah, that was in 1860. Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. Then from there in 1863, slavery ended. Last ended in Holland, Netherlands. Yeah. But we still believe that slavery is still happening. We have modern slavery, or economic slavery.
Yeah, I agree.
So this cannon was here to stop the legal slave boats. Yeah, not to go off the island, yeah? Not to go to the island. So the ships crossing from this point, they will never reach the island. So the cannons were here to control them. So it's a 24-pounder cannon with two field pieces. So this cannon can blow for almost 700 meters wide. It's a long way to go.
Wow.
Yeah. Then number three is the building there. But the new roof was supported by the UNESCO, World Heritage Site, but it's a very old house that was used by the French. 1681, they were using that house as the French trading post. Yeah, that's where they used to do their barter trading, good to good. So they were taking our gold because Africa was rich with gold. Yeah, so when they bring their alcohols, tobaccos, and mirrors, those are the finished product. So they brainwash us. They give us alcohols, tobaccos. Those things, they worth nothing. That's why today all the capitalist states in the world, they all get rich from the gold that they took from us.
Yeah.
So the rich are still getting rich and the poor are still poor.
Yes, sir.
So that point was the barter trading point where they used they use barter trading, good to good. The down floor is the warehouse and the top floor was meant for the criminals where they sleep. Yeah. So the more they gather, more stuffs, more captives, more gold, then at the end of the day, they just went with it. Yeah, from this point here. So they call the old French trading post or the old French supermarket.
Okay.
But half of the land was also rented by the kings. Then it was corrupted. Yeah. Then we never want it because we don't want to mingle with those white people. But because of corruption, because of greed, so half of the land was being corrupted. So corruption means sang in Mandinka. Sang means corruption. So that they don't like. Yeah. That's the island. Yeah. So that island, that's where they keep them. The point of no return. But today we call the point of return. The island was quite bigger, but today because of the water erosion, the island is very small. So if they don't protect it, if they don't preserve it, in 20 years to come, then we're gonna lose the island. And the more we lose the island, that's gonna affect our history. So we want to keep the island. You know, we want to keep the history.
It's good.
Yeah. Like I mentioned to you, God bless you. Like I told you before, people were living in different areas. So we migrate from one place to another. But the first settlement of the village was here, 1750. So that's exactly where Punta Kinte was born, around this end. And here is Santos Domingo, one of the islands in the Caribbean. But we also got the name here. So that's where they keep them, before they keep them on the island.
Gotcha.
So they make them weak. They give them little water, little food. Because knowing that if they are strong, they couldn't transport them on the island.
Right.
So they punish them at that side before they go to the island. Yeah.
Right.
So that's why before we call the point of no return. But today we call the point of return. So we still believe that the souls and the bodies of our ancestors are still here at the bottom of the river. And also the spirit of our ancestors are still around us. That's why when we have the festival, when people come here, so people start crying. Some are throwing flowers in the river. They are praying for their people, those who pass through this point. Yeah. So the water is full of red flowers in the day of the festival.
Okay.
Yeah. So people are praying for their ancestors, those who pass through this point.
That's good.
Okay?
Thank you.
Entonces me requiere. I'm still about to come again. I'm going to stay.
We're ready to get back on the ship to get us back to Gambia.
I'm going to take it over. I'm going to say, "Jamo para, jamo ese, tu de over." Jamo para.
This is the Baba.
I'm just too busy to look. I'm still going to get up.
Take a picture of this island that you guys see here in the background. So if you go all the way out here, you see that this is the end. We literally drove probably an hour to an hour and a half inside to get to Quinte's village and his homeland. And so we're actually being able to go back home. So we were like, it was deep. It took us forever to get in there, but it was definitely well worth the trip. So on the way back to Serakunda. Where we're going. We're going straight. Get a better picture. So we're going straight. See all that water. We'll be going straight. All the water. So much more to be learned. I'll come back and we're riding off.
Okay. It's kind of no problem.
Greetings, everyone. I come to you from the Gambia on day 12, and we're actually leaving tomorrow night to head back to the U.S. So we finally was able to get over to, my mind is drawn, like Jafar, and that's the home in the area where Kunta Kinte was born, raised, and actually taken captive into slavery. And words cannot express how much I learned today. It was so much information that came out while we were there. I have plenty of pictures and video of things that I took in the actual museum. But it was really interesting being able to follow the guy who was a storyteller. And one of the things that he talked about was how when tribes have had history, they've never been one to just come out and let a whole bunch of people tell their story for them. And I liken that to America. America continues to do the same thing as it pertains to African Americans. They always want to have a narrative, and they tell our narratives for us. Even in 2020, we see TV shows and sitcoms and even movies that are written by people that don't look like us, that tell a narrative that does not exemplify or represent us well. And so in listening to the guy who was telling us the history, he talked about how they would not allow people to come in and tell the story. And so stories were passed down from generation to generation and from generation to generation. But he was very informational. He gave a lot of history, specifically on Kunta Kinte and what has happened over the years. He talked about roots. He talked about the book and the movie being released in 1977, how impactful that was in this area that we're in today, Kunta Kinte's village. is probably one of the most visited, and that's as a result of Alex Haley chasing his lineage and being able to expose the whole world to his lineage and how he chased back to the Mandinka tribe. What was really cool, there was an 8th generation lady there. Actually, I took a picture with. She was sweet as could be, but she's the 8th generation of Kunta Kinte still living. And I think one of the things that he told us today was that her dad, who just passed away, was 101 years old. And she will supersede him, of course. She's still alive, and hopefully she'll supersede him in age. But just rich history. Words cannot express, or I can't even put all of this into complete words, just knowing that I've been able to touch this land. And even when we got to the point of no return, that they now call the point of return, and also never again, it was amazing to know and to see the waters that the original people, the Portuguese, came over and snatched Kunta Kinte, and he escaped multiple times. If any of you followed Roots or read the movie, you know the whole scenario of what happened with him. But to stand there on the banks of that river and to know that hundreds upon hundreds of people died in that water, waiting, to be. Actually, I'm sorry. Let me give the history right. And there's actually photos that I've taken of this holding place that's now the museum. And they would hold the slaves in there, and they would make the slaves drink water from the cistern. And of course, the cistern was full of poisoning. And the main reason that most people died during that time was from cholera. That was one of the things I had to be vaccinated from before I got over here. And they talked about it. They didn't die there in that waiting place. They died in the river because, they were so ill, and they would simply just throw them over the side of the boat or whatever as they were taking off. And they said this water one time was the Gambian River. They said this water one time was full of crocodiles. And the crocodiles, of course, would feed off of all of the dead bodies. And just to sit there and to hear these stories and to be able to visualize, this ancestry and, some of the things that they talked about was how people come, and it's a spiritual experience because people can actually sense and feel, the things that went on during this time. And just the fact that they were so inhumane to black folks, and what they did was just, it's unexplainable. It's incomprehensible how people could do this, and obviously channel slavery, and even some of the things that we deal with in America today from systemic racism is as a direct result of what happened here. And I've been able to touch this land, and you guys have no idea how excited I am about being able to take this back home and be able to share to those who are open to hear, because a lot of people even today don't want to hear about it. They don't want to know about what happened then. They say they're sick of hearing about slavery. But I would truly say, if we don't know who we are as a people and where we've come from, we really can't go positively in a mindset of unity and oneness into the future. Because if you don't know where you've come from, you can't really know where you're going. And so it's just so much. It's so much. But today, filled my heart, it filled my soul, it filled my spirit in so many ways. And I was able to just get a small snippet, and obviously, a trip back to Gambia and Senegal. It's something that I must do in order to continue with all of the information and just learning, because you can't get it all. And we try, but it's just so much that you can't get it in. And so with that being said, I'm going to go and continue to celebrate those who are here, and they'll celebrate us as we have one more day and like a half a day tomorrow to be able to do some things. And so we'll just continue to do it. And I'm excited about everything that has happened, like I said, and everything that I'll get to take back home and share with my family, and really, really, really give us a sense of where we've come from, and just the rich heritage that we have, the unity, the oneness, the strong Mandinka mindset. I tell you what, being over here and watching these people just be and do who they are every day lets me know that the mindset that I carry in so many things that I do is directly related to where I've come from. And I think that's priceless, and to know that, because one thing that has been stolen from us as black people in America is history and heritage. Our heritage and history is filled with rape and murder and lynchings and abuse, and just you name it, it's happened to our people. And for us to not want to talk about it, I will never comprehend. Because I think until we can really talk about this stuff, we can never really solve issues of systemic racism that exist today. But with all of that said, super excited. Had an amazing time today, and I will definitely share all of this wealth of knowledge and information and understanding with those that I come into contact with. So until I talk to you guys again, this is Africa 2020, creating memories while leaving legacy. Okay, I'll be back at you soon. So I'm sitting here with Mama D. He has been truly amazing for us since we've been here. He was kind of given to me as a personal guide, and oh man, I can't even explain how much of a blessing he's been. But I want to give him an opportunity to say something. But let me say this first, Mama D. I want you to know I love you very much. I really, really appreciate everything you've done. You went out of your way, you sacrificed your time with your family, and you've been here for us for so much. And I just want you to know, and the whole world's gonna know this, that I really, really appreciate you. And it does my heart well to know that somebody from Gambia who just met me for the first time last week could be so kind. And so thank you so much, okay?
Thank you too.
So what do you want to say to the people of America about your experience with us and how it's been since we've been here in the Gambia?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm very, very happy to receive you guys from America to come to Africa, my motherland, Gambia. I appreciate everything that you did. So I'm welcoming all Africans, Black Africans, from America to come and witness, their motherland. Whatever we have here, we are all equal to it. As we are the same blood, the same family, it's just because of the destinations, but we are all the same. Yeah, Black Americans in Gambia, Black Americans in, everywhere in the world, so we are all the same. I'm saying I'm appreciating all Africans, Americans that are coming to Africa, whoever comes and who doesn't have time to come, so you are all welcome. So your brother is here, we are here for you people, and we're open to you guys, we are all equal to everything that we have here. Yes, you are our brothers and sisters, so the door is open for everyone to come, and we appreciate everything, and then we are ready to receive you guys and tell you what is the truth on the ground here. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, I better keep back here.
Yeah, better come back.